I'm very
And I think everyone's here.
yes.
Sorry about that. I accidentally hit off. Let me quickly share my screen and let's like jump into it. Let me figure out how to do this. Put me on. Yeah. Okay. Share PowerPoint.
सबने सुना होगा मैंने ये जो बोला.
Acha. So let's jump in. I'm hopefully my screen is being shared. Can you guys see it?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah,
All
we
right.
can.
So let me start with maybe a little bit of an introduction about me, and then we can talk a little bit about Declaration, and then we can go around the table, and you guys can tell me a little bit about yourselves, and we can kind of go from there. Okay? So first about me, the background about me is I'm kind of from Lahore. I graduated from LUMS in the 90s. I moved to the US and I, you know, I did my master's and I started working for Deloitte, which is a consulting company. And मैं तकरीबन 10 साल जो है Deloitte में काम किया. So for those people that I mean, if you can go on mute, थोड़ा सा background noise आ रहा है. So I started working at Deloitte, and it's a management consulting company where we would help all sorts of clients, primarily banks, with problem solving. So उसमें, you go from one project to another, and it's very different than the Pakistani mindset. Pakistani mindset, if I had to stereotype, उसमें obviously exceptions भी होते हैं. पाकिस्तानी माइंडसेट होता है कि यार आप मैकेनिकल इंजीनियर बने, फिर आप मैकेनिकल इंजीनियरिंग का ट्रैक लें. आप इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग लें, इलेक्ट्रिकल इंजीनियरिंग का ट्रैक लें. आप डॉक्टर बने और डॉक्टर का ट्रैक लें. अमेरिका में क्या होता है कि यू शिफ्ट अराउंड, यू मूव अराउंड. एंड तो कंसल्टिंग वाज ग्रेट. लाइक दैट्स एग्जैक्टली व्हाट आई डिड. 10 सालों में मैंने 20 एक प्रोजेक्ट्स किए होंगे फॉर डिफरेंट कंपनीज, डिफरेंट क्लाइंट्स, डिफरेंट पीपल. And I typically didn't know the subject matter, but you would learn. So basically, you would be sponges. Sponge की तरह आप absorb करते थे information, and so you would learn learning. You would learn problem solving. And udhar I learned how to make presentations, and I loved making presentations. I wish my parents had taught me design as a kid. Maybe I'd become an architect. But chalo, another time for that story, right? So udhar se I learned project management and running big transformation projects. So I went to JP Morgan. I spent 5 years there. And udhar I actually spent some time in Hong Kong and Tokyo and had a great time in Asia. And then came back to New York and I started working for Bank of America. And Bank of America, I run an automation team, जो ये artificial intelligence, all the stuff that you read about in the papers, वो मेरी team करती है basically. And kind of along the way, I started Declaration. I don't know what 6, 7 years ago. I remember in Tokyo, I started it. That as a small one-off thing. Then, Sabine, who's my wife, would do a project here or there. And then about 2.5 years ago, we decided कि यार इसको ना जरा सही तरह focus के साथ we basically implement this. And I started off with Hassan and Yasser, and हमने साल 1.5 साल चलाया, clients मिले, ये किया, वो किया. And then about a year and a half ago, we just started taking off. I think हमने जो foundational काम किया हुआ था, we were able to basically get more and more from there. And as a result of that, we basically grew like crazy. And that's why you're all here. And उसमें main focus ये था कि culture के ऊपर, right? to build a culture of nice people, delivering great solutions, adding a lot of value to clients. And we'll talk about the flywheel in a bit. And we found our success and we said, okay, let's continue to build on it. And that's where we are today. I'll give you my perspective on the flywheel and a few other thoughts there, and then we'll open it up for kind of discussion. I'm now sharing my screen successfully, hopefully. Nazar aa rahi hai?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So it starts with the simple thing that we power ideas. And what does that mean? Okay, we have ideas of our clients, we have your ideas, we have my ideas, and what we are doing is we are powering them to realization. तो जो भी हमारा client achieve करने चाहते हैं in their idea, we power them. And that's our, इसको कहते हैं massive transformative purpose, right? कि हम, this is what we are all about. And the way we do it is we start with client execution. We want to please and amaze our clients. We want to deliver value, and we want to retain and grow our clients. So just think about that, right? Yeah, abhi meri wo leader se baat ho rahi thi, and I was very direct with them. Something that I learned maybe 15 years into my career. Yeah, the only person who cares about all the thoughts in my head is me. Nobody else cares. So all of you on this call, let me be direct, and I'm not trying to be abrupt, but just if you allow me, nobody cares about what you think. Okay? And to be more specific, nobody cares about all of your thoughts. It's more about what the client wants. So think about it from the client's perspective. Okay, this client is trying to build a website. Why is this person trying to build a website? And then now bring your thoughts in from that perspective, right? And then that's when it matters. So all of the thoughts that I used to have, I used to blurt them out. Yeah, oh, I have this idea, this idea, this idea. And that's not what it's about, right? It's more about, yeah, client ye achieve karna cha raha hai. How do I pick my main thoughts? And I look at it from their perspective. And to do that, that's what client execution and pleasing and amazing is. And then what we want to do is we want to hire great people like you all. We want to build the capacity. We want to recruit and train. And then we want to market and acquire additional clients. And then we want to keep this flywheel going. And we want to control and measure our processes. So agar ignore control and measure for a second and just focus on the three things here. ये एक पंखा है, and that's why it's called a flywheel. कि अगर हम clients को हम please करें, amaze करें, we hire great people, we acquire more business. Where we were a 2-person organization 18 months ago, mashallah, so we're 25 people today. Can we be 150 people in 12 months? And it's all dependent on this पंखा. कि ये पंखा कितनी तेज से हम चलाएंगे. And that is the journey that you've joined, basically. You kind of jumped in and you're with us. So glad to have you on board. And now, what is your role in this panka? And all of us have to play a role in this, right? And that's what it's all about. This is a little bit of an older version of the values. मुझे वो latest deck अभी मिल नहीं रहा था, but it's for the purposes of this conversation, it should be fine. We want to focus on 4 things. The first is we want to focus on clients and we want to deliver value. And that's the top of the panka. We want to realize the power of our people. So I know I was a little abrupt that nobody cares about your thoughts, but let me be very exact about that. Nobody cares about all your thoughts, right? We definitely care about your ideas, and we love the fact that people bring their ideas to the table. And we encourage failure. If you have an idea and somebody shoots it down, don't worry about it. Keep bringing your ideas. And usme, if anybody consistently shoots your ideas down, all you have to do is call me up. I will advocate for you because we really, really believe in the power of diversity and the diversity of ideas. So isme you have to keep trying, because if you don't try, you're never going to learn how to bicycle. If you never try to learn how to drive, you'll never learn how to drive a car. So and part of that learning is, you're going to fall off the bicycle. Gaadi thukegi. Don't worry about it. Like, trust me, I've been doing this for now 20 years, and especially in the mode of thinking about failure the last 2 years. If anybody gives you a hard time about failure, okay, you screwed this up, or gives you a negative experience, कि ये तुमने गलती की है, क्यों गलती की, blah 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 blah, or when lecture मिलेगा, please call me up. That is not part of our culture. हमारे से सबसे गलतियां होती हैं, and it's completely okay. And the whole point is, if you keep trying, you're going to learn, and learning is important, right? So the reason I don't worry about failure is because I worry about learning. If you keep learning, imagine what you'll do for us in 3 months, in 6 months, 12 months, in 24 months. And what we'll do for our clients, more importantly, it's not even for us, right? And I'll give you something, a little bit of a peek into my own kind of a story, which is something that my wife tells me never to share, but I always, against my better judgment, is that I was a very mediocre student. And I somehow, because of my career at Deloitte, I got onto this learning path. And us learning path ki wajah se, I kept, my own flywheel started spinning. And I just love learning. And I learn, and learn more things. I implement them, I fail, I learn more, I fail, I learn more, I implement, and I keep growing. And so if a mediocre student like me can accomplish what I've accomplished, imagine if you let me, if you let me allow you to become sponges, if you let me allow you to fail, allow you to fall off the bicycle, hurt your knee, and nobody's going to blame you for it. Imagine where you will be in 6 months. Imagine where you will be in 12 months. Imagine where you will be in 5 years. And that's what Declaration is all about. The last couple of thoughts here are, we want to grow responsibly, right? We're not going to be, crazy, right? We're going to grow in a sustainable way. So agar the next time a recession happens, the next time COVID happens, we want to be there for our people. We want to have an organization that allows for some risk, right? In the sense that, sorry, heater on ho gaya tha. We want to have, a net. If you think about the crazy organizations that, grow crazily and they burn, that's not what we're trying to do. We're trying to build an organization with a great culture and build it responsibly. And also, we want to be good and do good, right? I think all of us on this call are very privileged, right? More or less, we don't have to worry about food on the table, a roof over our head. And there's a big part of our society that does. So how do we help them? And I do some, ed tech work in a nonprofit in Pakistan, and we've been doing it for about 5 years. And some of those kids are now 10th and 11th graders. Maybe we can employ them at Declaration. Maybe they can do some basic graphic design work. And so we have to figure out a way to give back also. And that's part of our kind of last value. So that was a bit about me and, Declaration and all that. So what I want to do is, I want to go around the table. Okay? If you want to quickly introduce yourself, give me your background. Okay? And if there's something on your mind that you want to ask me, I would really encourage you to ask me. And I'll tell you something, very quickly, one story, and then we can start it. Okay? I've been in the room with Brian Moynihan, who's the CEO of Bank of America. Okay? And I've asked him a question, And please know that I've had butterflies in my stomach. And, I was very scared. Should I ask the question? There are 100 people in this room. What are they going to think about me? And I was very, very scared. But I asked. And it goes back to the point I made earlier that if you ask a bad question, what's going to happen? You're going to trip from the bicycle. Who cares? The next time you'll ask a better question. Nothing's going to happen, right? We're all adults here. Nobody's going to make fun of you. And the other thing that I learned from my father-in-law, a lesson that I've shared with others along the way, is he taught my wife to always ask a question. Make your presence felt. So whether it's a client meeting or a meeting like this, make your presence felt. Like, ask the question. You must have something on your mind. I wish I knew this, or I wish somebody could clarify this, or I'm having an issue. Can somebody tackle it? So this is where I really, really do care about what's on your mind. Maybe I don't care about all the thoughts in your mind, you're joking, right? But I do care about what's on your mind. And if you can, if you find it within you to ask me, then you know what, I can maybe answer it. Or maybe I can take it into account as we plan out 2021. How do we change things? And the other thing is that if you feel uncomfortable asking in this setting, drop me a message. Drop me a personal message on Teams, and I'll respond there. So with that, maybe we can go around the table. We can start on the top left. ठीक है? मेरे पास इधर at least Yasser I think आ रहा है. And so Yasser, if you want to introduce yourself, give me a little bit about your background, the work you're doing, and if you have a thought or question on your mind.
Yeah, so basically, I graduated as an electrical engineer from Lance, as a in major in power systems, and I started working at Nishat even before my graduation. Um, two years down the road, I realized that it is not meeting my potential, so I got into data science and machine learning in general. So from machine learning, I started my journey. I got into deep learning and then also BI and BI development. So my transition was from not so technical to more technical, and now I'm aiming towards more and more technical side. मुझे कोडिंग से बहुत डर लगता था और मैंने कोडिंग मैंने मतलब कहते हैं ना कि ब्रूट फोर्स अटैक कर दिया कोडिंग पे. I used to spend 12 hours every day programming in Python, programming in C++, and I got really good at it. So basically, in my experience, if you're afraid of something, you just do it. You just get into it. और आप डूब जाओ तो eventually आप खुद ही ऊपर आ जाओगे.
Love it, love the background, love the transition. And by the way, it's amazing, right? मैंने stereotype किया था Pakistanis को, and Yasser is the opposite of the stereotype, right? He started off as an engineer in in power systems, and look at you over here, right? Amazing, yeah. Nice journey, love it. Any questions or thoughts on your mind?
Yeah. So basically, my expectation coming to Declaration was that eventually I'll get into machine learning and AI. So basically, I'm very passionate about AI. I'm very good at maths and coding. So down the road, I always think on how to get back into big data and AI. So maybe we'll get some sort of project that I can contribute something towards in that side.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love it. So इसमें, I'll answer your question, but it applies to everyone else also, is, focus on your core job, right? 70-80% focus on core job. जो भी, you're working with a seed, you've got client work, etc. And put in the remaining hours or extra hours on whatever your passion is. ठीक है? And you're going to see ideas that, as an example, on your current project with Metigo, on others, if you have ideas, you can bring them to me. Okay, I wish I could do this. I wish we could go sell this to someone. So those are things that I'm totally open to, Yasser, and please bring them to me, and happy to have the conversation. Inshallah, I'll be in Pakistan in December, and we can talk live about this also. And then the last part is that please connect with Mujahid. So Mujahid is working on a project called Mertium, and Mertium, where we've implemented IBM Watson's AI to target trending articles. So usme, we're doing some feature engineering work there and trying to make it better. The data quality is a little off. So there's a lot of opportunity on that front. But the one thing I'd recommend, Yasir, is as you go on this journey on AI, think about crawl, walk, run. Don't think about how AI is going to solve world hunger. To solve world hunger, you need to solve hunger in a part of Lahore. Then you need to solve hunger in all of Lahore. Then you have to solve hunger in Punjab, then Pakistan, then South Asia, then Asia. So think about small bites. Whatever you do with AI, implement something small and see if people like it. If people like it, then keep building on it. Don't try to basically bite off more than you can chew. But I'm definitely open to ideas. Talk to Mujahid and let's continue the conversation offline. Nice
Sure.
to kind of meet you in this setting. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah.
Over to Aska.
Yes, hi. So I graduated in 2018, and my degree was accounting and finance. But since then, I've sort of been working as a business developer in B2B settings. I worked in Frag Games at the software house in Arfa Tower for 1 year, and then I worked with a US company. It was a luxury transportation company, and I worked there for another year. And then now I'm here at Declaration, and I'm working on the Matigo BD side for now. And I don't really have a question.
Okay, perfect. Hey, great to get to know you and look forward to meeting you in December. Over to Amir.
Wasn't expecting my name. Anyways, my name is Amir, as you said. So I studied aerospace with Space Tech in Hatfield, UK, and so the work that I'm doing right now with with Tech is in Metigo BD. So I'm managing the operations, which is now being set up for the Metigo BD in DAC, as we are the administrator for this project. So my transition, everybody asked why did I end up here, and studied aerospace with Space Tech from UK. So just to give you a long story short, that I try to get to the bottom of it in terms of systems when I talk about anything with respects to regard of any industry. So that is just in a way a reflection upon the reason why I transitioned from aerospace as an engineer to more management side, to more consultative side, to more system oriented side, which is rather bureaucracy type of work. So this was the whole of it. And I would like to ask a question though.
Go for it.
Are you Republican or a Democrat?
And good question. So यहाँ पे
Yeah.
there's a joke, right? America से आप American से आप बड़ी intimate details पूछ सकते हैं, but you can't ask them about their political leaning.
I knew that
But
specifically, so I asked that.
but jokes aside, yeah, I was a Republican 20 years ago. Let's say I was fiscally conservative. What that basically means is, I didn't think I always thought the government was inefficient, and people should be free to do what they want, and blah 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 blah. So before I think 9/11, I would have even voted for George Bush. Joe, in hindsight, would not have been a good idea. And then I think the biggest lesson I learned along the way was I actually supported General Musharraf became, the chief executive of Pakistan. I kind of was a fan of his, and that was another big mistake I made in my early 20s. In the 90s, many of you may be too young to remember this, but we had Nawaz Sharif and Benazir Bhutto, and there was this round robin of politicians. Pretty much all of them, I would say, somewhat dirty, if not very dirty. And I thought the military will come in and they'll solve everything. And so from there, I learned that dictators are typically not a good idea. You have to have a system in place. And a system means that you have people that create laws, your legislative. You have people that enforce the laws, whether it's the police or the judiciary. You have the army, which protects the borders. You have healthcare, you have education, and you have to have a system in place. And if that system is in place, it enables the growth. And I think Pakistan may, that's the biggest challenge. We don't have a system in place like other countries, and we're a very emotional nation. And because of that emotion, we prefer people like Shahid Afridi, who can entertain us in one match, but then do nothing in about 10 matches, right? So, but to answer your question, I'm not entertained by Trump. while a lot of my fellow citizens in America are entertained by Trump, I think he's been a disaster to the U.S. and to the world. And so I voted for Joe Biden. And so आज देखेंगे रात को क्या होता है. I think it will be a landslide in Biden's favor, and आज result आ जाएंगे. But that's my own kind of forecast.
Well, I think Trump is going to win. Well, it's my analysis. I've been doing this for about, like, let's just say the whole past the whole Trump era. I've been covering it. So what I have my data, but I feel like Trump is going to win, not by a landslide. It's going to be a close victory, very close. But Trump is going to win definitely, no doubt about that. Let's see what happens.
And do you think आज result आ जाएगा?
No, it may be a little delays on that, but I'm not sure about that. But anyways, it feels like that he's going to win because he won some of the key states as well. He's winning Michigan as well, is what's told. And he's winning other states as well. In Florida, he's very strong at Florida right now, very strong. And so it's looking shaky right there for Joe Biden. I don't know, but it might be.
Chalo, interesting. We should do a bet or something. Dinner if if Trump wins or the Biden wins. So chalo, great. I'm actually just checking the results right now. I haven't checked since the morning. But chalo, great to meet you, Amer. Good question. Wafa, over to you.
All right, so I graduated in like 2019, and I'm a pharmacist by profession. And the medical degree, my parents want me to do that, so I just got the medical degree. And during the studies, I just started my first job during the first year of my degree. I was a sales executive over there, and I did that job for an year. And then I switched the job. I was a medical insurance specialist at eTelecord, and I was there for like about 6-7 months. Then I quit the job for some time, and I was so busy into studies. I completed my degree, and then I started another job, and I was a quality assurance executive at Top Media Partner, and that was for about like 1 year almost. And then I was the last job I left, I was account executive for a B2B campaign. So that was totally like digital marketing, SEOs, and search engines. So that was quite interesting for me. And now I'm here in Mitigo.
Behreen. So, you guys are amazing. It was Yasser, Amer, and Wafa. All three of you have completely shattered the stereotype that I referred to, and it's amazing. You guys got a training in one area and doing completely something different. Absolutely phenomenal. Loved it. And I encourage you to do it, right? एक साल ये करो, 2 साल ये करो, then कुछ और करो, and don't go down the typical path कि मैंने 20 years यही काम करना है. I love like jumping around and doing different things. Great. So, Wafa, any questions at your end?
Thank you so much. No, that's it.
Okay. Shiroz, I know we've talked, but I know a little bit about your background, but good to see you here.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so I started coding when I was in 10th grade, and I actually dropped out of my university in second semester because I didn't like it much. So after that, I worked on multiple technologies and languages for like more than 5 years. And I just joined Declaration as a senior full stack engineer. And I'm currently working on Multicore's web app and backend as well.
ठीक है, बेहतरीन. So yeah, I mean, the work you guys are doing on technology is amazing. And we Ahmed से सुबह बात हो रही थी. And I think it's gonna be amazing. I think what you guys are gonna do, a lot of potential in technology. One of my good friends, Yasser Bashir, he runs a software shop called Arbisoft, and उसके पास I think 500 या 600 बंदे हैं जो काम कर रहे हैं, people. And I feel like, we can one day become one of those shops, right? So no pressure, Shiroz. But jokes aside, any questions you have for me?
No, thank you.
Okay, Mithri. Okay, Komal, over to you.
Okay, hi, Sila. So I graduated this year, the unlucky batch of 2020 graduating in lockdown. So I graduated from LSE, and my majors were economics and marketing. And I don't really have a lot of experience. I did my internship last year at UPhone in the business analysis and planning department, and then I joined Declaration, I think a month ago or 2 months ago. And I think it was a huge challenge for me, primarily because my field, my theoretical field was way too different than BI. And I think I'm still kind of learning the jargon of this field and still trying to grasp onto the basics. I think I've gotten a hold of the basics now, but I'm still trying to figure out a lot of things along the way. And yeah, I think it was a challenge for me in the start, especially because Yasser and Manaiba, they both are very good at what we're doing. So it was a little intimidating, but yeah, I think I've figured out my place now. And I'm mostly working on the front end of the dashboards that we're building for Metico at the time.
Love it, love it. And इसमें देखो, being intimidated is a very human reaction, ठीक है? And different people react differently, ठीक है? And इसमें like I typically don't get scared, but sometimes I do. And I know other people can get more scared, and I know, and it's a completely human thing to do, right? To react like, oh, I'm in the deep end. I don't know if the water is choppy. I may drown. Blah blah blah, right? But let me tell you something, Komal, very clearly. A, you will not drown. B, we are here to help you. And C, you're gonna pick this up. Like the story I tell, even against the advice of my wife, about me being a mediocre student. I couldn't have dreamt about the stuff that I've done over the last 20 years, right? If I can do stuff and I can learn, I know people are smarter than me. ठीक है? And you guys may find it hard to believe because this guy sitting in New York 20 साल से काम कर रहा है और वो कह रहा है कि इतना smart नहीं है. I'm not just being self-effacing, or I'm not being modest. I have amazing friends that graduated with me at LUMS who are unbelievably smart. ठीक है? And they're doing unbelievably well as well. My point to you is that, and to you all, is that if you can learn and you can grow, you're going to be on this path and you're going to keep growing like this. So it doesn't matter, Komal, if you're here and you're trying to grow like this, or if somebody's here and they're growing like this. As long as you keep learning and you put yourself in these intimidating situations, don't worry about it. You'll figure it out. It's just like the power of compound interest. So
Yeah.
for the people that don't track math, right? If you put 100 rupees into an account and you get 10% interest on it, it will grow like this. It's the same that applies to you. That if you keep growing by 10, 15, 20%, and the way you grow it is exactly the word that Komal said. It's intimidating and challenging situations, right? And you keep learning. And it's made Komal, and for everyone else here, I'll tell you how I learn. I watch everything on YouTube. I was talking to some senior person at IBM Cloud a couple of weeks ago. They mentioned first principles, and it sounded interesting, but I had no idea what first principles was. So कल मैंने literally 3 videos देखी हैं about first principles, and I picked videos that were less than 10 minutes because I don't have all the time in the world, and I can actually explain what first principles is. So Komal, what I want you to do, and I want all of you to do, is I want you to make YouTube your best friend. And what I do is I type in first principles explained simply, first principles explained for dummies. I literally type this in. Shiroz will find this interesting. मुझे well, there's a technical thing called Kubernetes and containers and Dockers. मुझे थोड़ा बहुत पता था, but I didn't know about them in detail. I typed in Kubernetes explained for dummies, and I watched videos. And I literally watch 3 to 5 to 7 videos every day. I have my watch list, and that's how I learn. And so Komal, like you, if you gave me access to your phone, not that you should, so I'm joking, but in your YouTube history, I should see in the next 30 days, Power BI for dummies, dashboarding principles, data story, like do all these random searches on YouTube, watch the quick videos, and be the sponge, and you're going to be on this growth path. And watch, in 3 months, you're going to be like blazing this trail, right? And you're going to have the Komal 2.0s who are graduating next year, who are completely fish out of water, and you can help them on this path also. And that's how everyone, all of us learn, right?
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely try and get all those things on my YouTube history.
Good.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem. Any questions for me?
No, not right now. I think I'll drop you a message if I do have any questions or anything else on my mind.
Perfect. All right, over to Munaiba.
Hi. So I also have just graduated in 2020 from LUMS, and this is my first job. And so by in my senior year, I realized that my major is management sciences, but I was really confused in my junior year that this is not something I want to do. Like I'm not good at dealing with people, but then I took data courses and I realized that that is something I'm good at and I want to do. So I also did a minor in computer sciences because knowing programming is good for data modeling and manipulation and stuff like that. And now I want to be a data scientist, like being a full-time data analyst and was good at data extraction as well. And the goal is to work with Java and learn from them as much as I can because he's really good at those things. And the work is good so far. I like it, but sometimes I really get confused about my job because every time I see it like I have to work between Komal and Yasser, and I sometimes feel like I don't have a primary job. So, but I guess I'll figure it out.
Yeah. So hey, Munaiba, great to get to know you. Good background. About your primary job, right? I'll give you two thoughts. One is, as consultants broadly, right? We move around. So उसमें एक fixed job नहीं होती, ठीक है? My boss at Bank of America has 1,500 people that work for her, ठीक है? I run a group of people that are change people. So in my group, nobody has a fixed job. हम change कर रहे हैं चीजों को. So कल, I don't know what I'm going to do tomorrow. I don't know what I'm going to do the day after tomorrow. And my team doesn't know it. There are other people within my boss's organization जो हर रोज वही काम कर रहे हैं. और उनकी clear job description है. ठीक है? So उसको एक line job कहते हैं या BAU job, business as usual job कहते हैं. In none, Declaration, 80-90% of our roles will always be change jobs. आज हम ये कर रहे हैं, कल कुछ और कर रहे हैं, अगले साल कुछ और कर रहे हैं. So that's just part of who we are. And उसमें, back to Komal's point about intimidation, थोड़ा सा मुश्किल होता है, right? कि like, आज मैं इस किस्म के पानी में swim कर रहा हूँ, कल इसमें swim करूँगा, परसों उसमें करूँगा. I don't know what it involves. So it can cause a little bit of tension and challenge. But as humans, I think we can be stretched and we get comfortable with not knowing. And we just know कि जब हम इस दरिया में जब jump करेंगे, हम will be able to swim. अगले दिन किसी और दरिया में jump करेंगे, we'll be able to swim. So just having that faith that there are people around you who care and will help you is important. And number two is, I would recommend, setting up a half an hour with Haseeb and sharing with him what your concerns are and getting specifics on, okay, what do you see the role to be as? So I would request that you connect with Haseeb and then drop me a message after you connect with him and see if you've gotten clarity. And if you haven't gotten clarity and you still have concerns, all you have to do is call me up and we'll talk and we'll figure it out.
Oh, okay, sure, we'll do that. And I do understand the part that also I also don't want to have just one focused job, but still, there's some part of your job is fixed. So I don't have that. My whole role is just to work between them, whatever they need help. But yeah, okay, I'll talk personally about that. Thank you.
ठीक, Maitri. So I think that covers everyone. I don't know, John Zabe, if you want to say anything or do you have any thoughts?
Um, Almost everybody knows me, but I can give my introduction again. So I graduated in 2018 with a degree in economics, and I did minor in mathematics as well. So right after my graduation, I started working with the social enterprise in Lahore, and I was working in the HR department. I was managing their HR department basically. So then I worked there for like 5 months. That was on project based, and then I joined a management consultancy that was based out of Dubai. So I was working for them remotely as a researcher. So this is how the career path in consultancies goes from researcher, then you become associate consultant, then partner. So when I went to Dubai with the same company, I was promoted to I got promotion as a associate consultant. I was working with them as an associate consultant. So I worked for them for like 4 to 5 months in Dubai, and then COVID happened. I had to come back in Pakistan. So then again I started working remotely, and after like 4 to 5 months, I joined Declaration like 3 months back, and now as you guys know that I'm managing the HR department, and currently I'm looking after the recruitment side of it, but in my but this is in my pipeline to work on other functions of HR as well. But once I get free from recruitment, probably by the end of this month, I'll be working on the other functions of HR. That would be new for me as well because my past experience was in recruitment, but now this is the pure HR job. So there's gonna be a learning curve for me as well. So yeah, that was a bit in like an extensive introduction.
So good, 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 good. So I'll share a couple of thoughts, and then I don't know if anybody has any questions, or we'll call it a day. Um, the one thing I'd encourage you all to do is, you know, think about diversity. Think about how people are different, different socioeconomic backgrounds, gender, their ability to speak English, write English, they're techie, non-techie. Doesn't matter where you are on whatever spectrum. If your English isn't that good, or you're too techie, or you're not technical, you're from a poor background, from a rich background. At the end of the day, we're all human, and we have to treat each other, with kind of respect. And that's a core part of our culture. And we have to be there for each other. So to some of the points that were made here around how, it's tough. And there's some senior people who know more stuff. How do the senior people help you? How do you help yourself? And that's part of the collective journey we're on. And if you're ever treated in a bad way, whether because of something that you said, your failure, because of your background, it's just completely unacceptable. And that's a culture that we have built, we will continue to build and continue to enhance. And I'd encourage you to just reach out to me with any of your concerns. I don't care how small they are, right? How big they are, whatever concern you have. Just please know that you have a direct line to me. There's no firm hierarchy within our company. ठीक है? So you can't be thinking कि oh वो मेरा boss का boss है, मेरा boss के boss का boss है, whatever it is. We're all people first, and then we have our kind of work relationships, right? So please know that you can reach out to me with any of your concerns, and you'll have my confidentiality. Okay, whatever you share with me, you have my commitment, will not leave me. And so I encourage you to think about that and also share it with other colleagues. That if there's a concern or there's an issue, or even if it's like a career thing, कि मैंने अगले साल मैंने ये करना है. It doesn't have to be a concern, right? It could be a positive thing. Okay, or Yasser was talking about AI. Yasser, you can come to me in a month saying, oh, मैंने ये proposal आया, what do you guys think? Come, bring your ideas. Some will execute, some will hold, some will maybe not execute. and that's part of the journey you're on, right? So anyways, that's really it at my end and what I wanted to share. Any thoughts or any questions you may have? Shalom. Perfect. Perfect. So it was great to spend some time with you all. And look forward to meeting you in person in December. Okay, G. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
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 Yeah, bye.
Hafiz.
Bye.